GMFB. Go vote for a poll at GMFB on who you are rooting for to make it and to win the Super Bowl after an epic throwdown round to remember. Time to tell you guys what we learned. Nate and I already finished our homework assignments. Kyle, you got something for us?
I do, Kate. I learned that the world champion Patriots got the worst possible matchup in the title game round. History proved me right, too. And I'm talking about any team in the league. You might have said, oh, I wanted Pittsburgh versus New England. No. New England slapped them around enough times. Let's give somebody else a shot. And the last team that you want to see is Jacksonville. And I'll tell you why. Jacksonville has the makeup and the parts to get in the club. Now, what club am I talking about? The most exclusive club in all of sports. The beat Brady and Belichick in Foxborough in the playoffs club. We call it Club Borough. You got to have a really catchy name here. Club Borough, like Foxborough. It's got to be Bliss or Rain or Enigma Borough, okay? And it's Mark Sanchez and Joe Flacco. Of all people, they got into the club. And if you want to look at the rejects of this club, the people that got stuffed at the door and wait over here in the line, how long do you have? Ben, Peyton, Alex Smith, Andrew Luck. Tim Tebow couldn't get in the club. As nice as he is, they wouldn't let him in. David Garrard, Phil Rivers, Chad Pennington, Steve McNair, Rich Gannon, and our most recent reject, Marcus Mariota. He didn't even get close. He tried to show up with 6 guys and say, can we all get in? They said, no, we got the fire inspectors coming through. Just wait right over here. Did not get in. I was told fire inspector a lot during my day. How many fire inspections you do here, man? Every time I come here, you got a fire inspection. Give me a break. But they did not get in. However, I do think that Jacksonville Jaguars have a really good shot, and I'll tell you why. At Club Borough, there's a very clear and very strict door policy. Everybody's got their policy, the clothes and whatnot, what you got to do, how you got to act. Theirs is very clear. Okay. We look at the 09 Ravens and the 2010 Jets who got in the club. It's very simple. You have to have a quarterback who was young, who was a first-round pick, and everyone's kind of waiting for him to fall on their face. Mark Sanchez? Sure. Okay. Joe Flacco threw for 34 yards and won in Foxborough. Blake Bortles? Check. Very easy. Running back, next on the policy. You have to have 2 of them. I'm talking Sean Green and LaDainian Tomlinson. Yep. Ray Rice and Willis McGahee. Yep. Fournette and Yeldon. Check. We're almost halfway in. Sanchez and Flacco are coming out like, who is this? Blake Bortles is coming in here. Well, we'll find out. You got to have corners. You have to have 2 corners. Not a star corner, not one. You got to have 2. I'm talking Revis and Crow, Ed Reed and Ed Reed. I'm talking all of the secondary. Ed Reed and Ed Reed. Whoever, Ed Reed and a crash test dummy, you're fine. Ramsey and Boye. You got to have 2 star defensive backs. And lastly, most importantly, the last check to get you into the club, you can't give a bleep. Just don't give a bleep, all right? The Jets, Bart Scott, can't wait. Yep. The Ravens, Trevor Pryce said right after the game, we were more emotionally ready than the Patriots to play this game. And obviously, we're not even there yet. And Jalen Ramsey says we're going to win, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. We got this bleep. They have what it takes to get in the club. I know there's sexier teams, but I think Blake Bortles, no. They have the ingredients. History proves it right. Last week, it was the teal curtain. This week could be the velvet rope. They're coming. Watch out. Watch out. They're coming.
Check. Come on in the club, baby. Come on in the club.
Roll 20 deep is some drama in the club. That's right. Watch out. Peter, what did you learn?
I love that, Kyle. That was great. All right. You know what I've learned? I learned that as much as we think we've seen it all, only one guy in football has really seen it all. It's Vikings defensive end Brian Robinson. Let's start in college. By most accounts, the greatest game ever played in college football was between the undefeated national champion USC Trojans and the undefeated Vince Young-led Texas Longhorns. Guess who was a member of the Texas Longhorns that day? Brian Robinson. Not only was he a member of the team, he was the one who made the crucial hit on Lendell White on 4th and 2, which gave Texas the victory. Brian Robinson. Okay, so he gets drafted by the Vikings. That's way back when. We fast forward. That was a good moment for Brian Robinson. Let's go to the 2010 NFC Championship game. The great
field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. I don't know what else we can do to pave the way for the New Orleans Saints to go to the Super Bowl.
Brian Robinson was there that day. It's considered the worst loss in Vikings history. They were on the doorstep. A field goal would have won it. Favre throws that horrible pick. Brian Robinson was there. Let's fast forward 6 more years. Okay. All right, 2016 wild card round. They're down 10-9. They move all the way downfield. Brian Robinson had a great game. Chippy field goal. Blair Walsh at home. Everything. Paul Allen, please do us the honors.
Blair Walsh has 5 game-winning field goals to his credit from 27 yards left hash. Snap good. Spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. Awful, awful way for the Vikings 2015 season to come to a conclusion.
That was maybe the most confusing and heartbreaking loss of all. They had to watch it outdoors at home. Okay, so Brian Robinson has now seen the greatest college victory, 2 of the greatest professional losses, and then there was Sunday night. This is a guy, Brian Robinson, who has been with the Vikings for 11 years. Of all the players on the Vikings, he is the longest tenured player. On 3rd and 1 for the Saints, he's the one who tackled Alvin Kamara before that Will Lutz field goal. So there he was. He was active, he was dressed, he was leading the way on the sideline, praying for some sort of miracle.
Step on Diggs, and the Minnesota Vikings have walked on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle. I can't believe what I just saw, Kyle. What an unbelievable play.
I don't know if you can see inside that pile, Brian Robinson's right in the middle of it. He's celebrating. There's so much that goes into all of this, but this is a guy, 11 years with the Minnesota Vikings. He's been through all those horrible losses. He's got no Super Bowl appearance. I'd like to say he's seen it all. He's got the college championship. He's had all this playoff experience, but there is one more thing on the list. That is the Super Bowl. So this weekend when you're